Have you ever seen video noise like this when you turn on your TBS Crossfire transmitter?
Welcome to Tango 2.
And here's the really weird part. As soon as you turn off the controller, it goes away. I'm Joshua Bardwell. You're going to learn something today. Now, I'm not going to take too long to reveal the cause of this issue because I don't want to waste your time. But I do want to say that I have been trying to figure this out for a long time. And it's a really weird one. And I want to tell you some of the things I thought might be the cause that weren't the cause, so you don't waste your time doing things that don't fix your problem. And the first thing I thought was, well, maybe it's interference from the Crossfire module itself. And I turned this thing all the way up to max power, and I kind of held it near everything, and nothing happened. And I thought maybe it has to do with the proximity of the Crossfire antenna and the VTX antenna. And I moved this all around. I moved it next to the flight controller. I moved it next to the camera, to the 5 gigahertz VTX. No noise, no interference whatsoever. I even thought it might have something to do with powering the camera and the receiver with 5 volts versus VBAT. But the camera on this quad and obviously the receiver are both powered from 5 volts. No interference. It's none of those things. It's actually something really weird and subtle. And the first piece of information that is key to troubleshooting this is that it only happens when you turn the controller on. But the interference is not coming from the controller, it's actually coming from the receiver. Because a receiver is actually also a transmitter when the receiver does telemetry. So this receiver is receiving signals here from the controller, but also it's transmitting telemetry data back. And it's those telemetry transmissions that are causing the problem. They are causing the interference. But they only cause the interference under a very specific circumstance. And the specific circumstance goes back to why I have an extra length of wire soldered here. Because what causes the issue is when the length of your video wire is the same length or close to the same length as the length of a Crossfire antenna. Yep, that's what it is. Your video wire is acting, any wire that is the right length will act like an antenna. And it is picking up, it is tuning in to the telemetry transmissions of the Crossfire receiver, and then it's sort of interfering with the video signal. So, if you're having this problem, there are 2 things you can do to fix it. One is that you can change the length of your video wire. You could either shorten it up or you could make it longer. But don't have it. My guess is that most of the people, because some people never experience this, and I've been so confused. Why do some people experience this and not others? And I've tried everything. Nothing fixed it consistently. I think this is the answer. I think the people who are being affected by this are just randomly having wires the approximate length of the antenna, and then they're getting hit by it. So that's the first thing you do, is change the length of your video wire. What about the power wires? I haven't actually tested that. I think in theory, if the power wire was the same length as the antenna, maybe you could impose some noise in the power circuitry, but I think it's possible that the camera would have some filtering on the power input that might make that less likely. It's obviously going to be worse if the video wire is the right length, but let's face it, your video, your power, and your ground wire are usually the same length, so it's, you know, same as makes no difference. The other thing people suggest might fix this is to twist the wires. And it's certainly possible that that's going to make a difference. In fact, we'll just test that. Twisting can provide some interference. Twisting a ground wire with another wire can provide some interference rejection. This is not a perfect scenario because of the different lengths, but let's just try that and see if it makes a difference. And we'll turn the controller on.
Welcome to Tango 2.
Thank you so much. And no video noise yet, but it definitely has to do with the proximity of the antenna. Oh no, that's made a big difference. That's made a big difference. Look, there's no noise at all there. Yeah, the receiver is bound. Wow, I'm actually really surprised it made that much of a difference. That's really something. Now, I don't know if that has to do with the fact that we've twisted the ground and the video wire together, or maybe we've just changed the shape and sort of change the length of the video wire enough that it's no longer acting like an ideal antenna. But that's the second thing you can do is, well, the first thing you should just do is change the length so it's no longer an antenna. Twist it with a ground wire. The third thing you can do is, it has to do with the proximity of the antenna, of the Crossfire antenna to the video wire. So if you've got a really compact racing quad, there may not be anything you can do to get them further apart. Notice, by the way, the proximity of the Crossfire antenna with the video wire, not with the VTX antenna or anything like that. But if you can move them farther apart, it will help, but you're still going to get some noise and interference, and you should just go back to step one. There is one final thing you can do, but it has a cost. Here in the Crossfire menu, or your TBS Agent Lite Lua script if you don't have a Tango or a Mambo, you can change, I believe it's in the Nano RX config, you can change the telemetry setting, and you can turn that off. Now, if you turn that off, you will lose telemetry. So if you're using telemetry for all of the things that telemetry is useful for, you won't want to do this. But in a pinch, if you're getting hit by this issue and you just need to fix it right now and get on with your day, just go into the menu and turn telemetry off, and those transmissions will stop and the video noise will go away. That's going to do it for this video. I need to thank, before I go, someone told me about this in my email. It was a long time ago, and I thought, oh, that is really cool. I should test that and make a video about it. And now it's months later, and I don't remember who it was. So I can't credit them. I apologize for that. But whoever you were, if you identify yourself in the comments, I will thank you personally. If not, maybe you just know who you are. Thank you so much for sending me that tip. It was a really good tip, and I would not have thought of that. So thank you so much for watching. Happy flying.
Patrons are the people who make all this possible. Not to disrespect you, because you're watching all the way to the end, which really helps the analytics. So I guess without you watching, none of this would be possible. But if you would subscribe or join my Patreon, $2 a month or more, it's up to you. Or at the very least, you know, leave a comment or click the affiliate links and do the show. Isn't it a beautiful day? Oh, man, the lighting looks good out here. What's up, y'all? Out for a walk.